As the festive season fast approaches, South Africans are being urged to take precautions on the country's roads, that is, because the recent increase in hijackings have put the spotlight on road safety as South Africans prepare to travel. Now, according to the police crime stats, 60 vehicles have been hijacked daily between the 1st of April and 30th of June this year alone. So for more on this, we're now joined by hijacking expert Richard Brussow. Joins me this morning to take this conversation forward. Richard, thank you so much for your time and a very warm good morning to you. This is quite alarming. Not the news, we want to hear when we're gearing up to travel, but the reality is we have to take precautions because hijackings are on the rise. Take us through the modus operandi that criminals seem to be on trend with lately.
On trend, as you know, spikes have obviously increased, especially with the minister being attacked and so. But an alarming attack that is slowly increasing is when people visit filling stations. Ladies and especially schoolgirls become perpetrators now, where they attack the people, they con you for the sole purpose of extorting money out of you. How it works is, firstly, with a lady technique. Ladies go to the filling stations in the afternoons between 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock. While they are there, they get approached by a lady. These ladies are in their 30s. Now, remember, what you see, what your eye sees is what your brain is going to believe. This woman comes up to you with a very sad story, telling you how they robbed her. So initially, your reaction is, oh, but are you right? Are you right? She tells you a story how they robbed her, but she only lives 3-4 kilometers from the filling station. She wants you to phone her husband. That's all she wants. So you dial the number, but the phone on the other side just keeps on ringing. She cries. You're going to offer her a lift. That's what she wants. She's going to climb into your motor vehicle. You're going to leave the filling station. Because 3-4 kilometers, no man, it's just, shame, let me help you. As you leave the filling station, the two robbers follow. They wait till the road quiets out. They come behind. They flash lights repeatedly. She shouts, "It's my husband." At that time, you're not going to think this through and say, but wait now. How do they know she is in my motor vehicle if she hasn't got a cell phone on her? You're not going to think that far. You're going to stop, climb out. Before you know it, the gun is pointed at you. They're going to take you from ATM to ATM to draw money out of your account. You do not. I know our parents taught us to help people. It is 2023. The danger factor is too big. I do not care how innocent that person looks. When you are approached, ladies, by a woman at a filling station, you will say, "Stand right here, I will phone the police for you." When you start talking in that direction, you are going to do something about her problem. She will mumble something and she will move away. The next one, men go to the filling stations between 5 o'clock and 10 o'clock in the evening. The problem with this following technique is we don't know how big the numbers are because 99% of the men do not report this. While the men are at the filling stations, they get approached by schoolgirls. The girl walks up to your vehicle. They're between 13 and about 16, 17 years old, small in build, in school uniform. "I'm sorry, uncle, I'm sorry. I've run out of airtime. Can I just please ask you to phone my mom for me?" So, you're also a parent, a father. So you say, "Okay, what's the number?" You dial the number. A lady picks up on the other side. She has a long conversation with you. "Oh, these kids." Then she says, "Oh, lovey, would you please mind then passing the phone to my daughter?" Now, a lot of men don't like to hand the phone over because you're scared that young girl is going to run away with your telephone. She just touches the door handle. She wants to climb in. If you give her the phone, she'll do something similar to this. "Hello? Yes, mommy? Yes. Hello? Hello? It's so noisy here." The reason for that is she actually wants to climb into your motor car. As soon as that schoolgirl is inside your vehicle, she keeps quiet. She looks at you like this. So you think, what's going on now? Before you know it, someone knocks on your car window, a person dressed in either Metro Police or South African Police. It hasn't been determined if they're real policemen. It could be fake. They knock on your door, no name tag. "What's going on here?" Before you can say anything, that young girl shouts, "He tried to rape me." Now, if you know the new Domestic Violence or the Gender-Based Violence Act, gentlemen, it's not an act to play with. It's immediate arrest act. I've done cases where they pull the men out of the motor cars. They shout at you in full view of the public. "What type of man are you trying to rape this young girl?" The officer or the so-called officer goes to the girl. They have a bit of a conversation. They come back. My man, it's your lucky day. She says if you pay her 3,000 rand, she will not carry on with the case. And 99% of the men pay. It's a small amount to pay to make the problem go away. I haven't heard of a case where they go over 3,000 rand. It's under the maximum amounts that can be drawn on a daily basis. Gentlemen, I do not care how innocent that child looks. You can make a phone call if you feel like it, but do not allow that schoolgirl into your motor vehicle. If the petrol attendant comes to you and says, "Hey, Baba, open the petrol flap, open the petrol flap," be careful. Before you just randomly press the unlock button twice, look around you. If he says unlock, check. If there's schoolgirls around, be careful. Unlock the petrol flap, immediately lock the door again. We've had incidents where the petrol attendant distracts you, you unlock, you focus that side, and the girl climbs in alone on that side.
Right.
Do not allow Google into your motor vehicle, guys.
And this is the trend that you're saying is going on right now, which is quite worrisome, Richard, and I'm glad that you put this to the fore. We're going to get into, more tips in terms of how to take care of ourselves, but surely there are others that we need to be careful of. I mean, things like, when you leave your complex, how someone could be monitoring you. What should we be aware of that oftentimes we're so comfortable and neglect just making sure that we drive with that extra caution?
If you look at vehicle hijacking in South Africa in whole, about 71% of the attacks happen in a home driveway. Now, keep in mind, that is not necessarily your own home driveway, but there's a driveway somewhere in the story. Attacks in the morning are extremely rare. It very seldomly happens in the morning. Look at this from the robber's point of view. For me to catch you in the morning, firstly, I do not know what's going to come out of your property. So I'm going to have to stake you out your movements for 3-4 days. The value attached to your motor vehicle doesn't justify all that work. To give an example, the average street price for a Polo Vivo is about 14,000 rand. The 14,000 rand, the robbers have to distribute into 3 of them. So for 3,500 rand, 4,000 rand, they're not going to follow you for 3-4 days. That's why most attacks happen in the afternoons, about 68%. If you approach a property and there's a vehicle behind you, please ignore make, model, and color. The robbers have got clever. They say people know robbers drive nice cars. But if I use a car that victims do not think robbers drive,
right,
I can get so close to you. By the time you realize there's something wrong, the gun is young. So ignore make, model, color. Stop in the road parallel to your gate. If there's a car behind you and it overtakes, make sure what's that car doing before you just randomly open your gate. As soon as the gate's open and you're in, stop. That gate must close behind you immediately. Think about this. People arrive home, they open the gates, they park the car. Only when they exit their vehicle and they see the gate is still open, then they close the gate. The deeper in you go, the deeper the robbers must follow. And that is a lot of times when hijacking rolls over into house robbery. I want to limit this crime. So what I say is, if anything happens, it must happen at your front gate, not in front of your garage door, not in front of your house's front door. Let's limit the crime to only a hijacking. Traffic light stop signs, work on that stopping distance. Don't drive with valuable items visible inside your motor car. And if I can add, you people are going to be at the malls this festive season. The robberies are going to increase. When you hear loud bangs in the mall, don't be like all South Africans. Pull out your phone. This is Mariki. I'm live here at the mall. No, guys, no. If you hear shots, there's a reason why the robbers are shooting now. They're getting confronted by shop owners or by security. Go down. If you see a commotion and a loud noise and people coming your direction, move to the sides. Give the robbers as much escape space as possible. Move to the sides, flat on the ground, have your feet pointing in the direction of where the noise is coming from. Last one, coming across a cash and transit robbery. It happens. It's on the peak season for them now.
Right.
What do South Africans do? They want to film. If you cannot drive away, that's your first objective. If you can't drive away, the embankments are too high. There's too many cars behind me. Or maybe you don't want to drive away because you're scared you're going to miss out on money that's going to lie on the ground. So either which way, switch off your motor car. Remember, explosion, bomb, petrol, diesel pumping through your car's engine. The two don't go nice together. Switch off your car, push your seat a little bit back, and just go down. You basically want to use your vehicle's engine as a buffer between yourself and the robbery. When that explosion happens, there's metal flying all over the place.
Right.
So don't sit like this. Yes, South Africans, if you go down, maybe the phone there, but don't sit and look through the front window. That metal can hurt you very seriously.
I would rather save my life than actually try and get some content, Richard. Life over
100%.
content, please. That's the hashtag. Also, let's talk hotspots. You mentioned malls as some of those spaces where these robberies will be taking place. But in terms of hotspots across the country, even though we know that crime is widespread in South Africa, can you name some of them for us, please?
I must say the hotspots, Gauteng will always be number one. You know, you're looking at the Centurions, the Sandtons, the Bryanstons, Fourways. But as the festive season draws closer, funny enough, KZN, KwaZulu-Natal, shows a bit of an increase, and also the Cape, because where do all the Gautengers, where their nice items go? They all flock to the coastal areas. But the problem with hotspots is they change. The robbers will be active in one area for about 2-3 days. The police show a bit of intent of crime, curbing the crime there. Then they jump to another area. Then they jump again. So guys, don't think because you're on holiday now you can relax. Always remember, robbers do not take holiday. This is the peak season for them. Their techniques might differ, where they'll move away from home driveways because your routine is erratic now. There's no work. It's not 6:30, 7:30 in the morning, 4:30, 7 o'clock at night. I'll catch you at the gate because you're on holiday. So you must remember, robbers don't sleep. They don't go on holiday. Every time, guys, lift your awareness. When you drive, not with a phone here, nothing must be visible. 9 out of 10 times, if it's a lady driver, they break left passenger window, because where do ladies put their handbags and stuff? On the left, pushed under the seat, pushed under the dashboard. And road spikes. You heard about the minister and her entourage getting attacked. Guys, the problem is we sometimes drive too fast. That's a South African thing. But if I can explain, you're not always going to see the spike. They camouflage these spikes so well, and they place it where your vehicle's wheels are going to run. They work in groups of two, the placer and the guys lying in the veld waiting for you. Now, your vehicle's wheel is, let's say, that big. Now you go over the spike. Within a second, all the air is pushed out of the tire so that the diameter becomes smaller. So now your vehicle dips a bit in the direction of the damaged tire. Now you hit the brakes as hard as you can. Imagine now driving a Bakkie, a Hilux, or a Ford Ranger. That vehicle is going to start doing this. Yeah. So when you go over the spike, this is going to be difficult. Do not hit the brakes as hard as you can. Let it go smooth. Fight the steering wheel. The car is going to pull violently in the direction of the damaged tire. Your objective is to try and get 4-5 kilometers from where you drove over the item. If you did not see what you drove over, don't think this was an accident. Oh, damn it, I went over a rock accidentally. It was a pothole. That item was placed there deliberately, forcing you to stop so you can be attacked. If your vehicle breaks now and you've pulled off on the side of the road, take what you want out of your car at night now. Take what you want, move across the road, go and sit in the veld, nice quietly, and make your phone call. This is going to be traumatic. You're going to see guys running towards your car. You're going to see them break items off your vehicle. But always keep in the back of your mind, what they break, what they steal can be replaced.
Absolutely.
We cannot replace you. It's not worth it, no.
You just answered my next question, because I was about to ask you if we should try and be heroes this festive season and fight back or retaliate back, because that's the reaction of the minister's VIP protection. They decided, even I suppose with the experience in dealing with such matters, not to retaliate, and lives were preserved. So you're saying do not be a hero in such instances.
You know, every case has got its own merit. So it's difficult to say not to fight back. You know, take now the bodyguards, the minister's bodyguards. Yes, I believe if they had the opportunity and it created, and they could have fought back, they would have fought back. But I always say the robber's got the element of surprise. So if you can see the weapon in his hand, the color of that weapon, it's silver or black in color, your brain must be able to say, hey, they're so close to me with that firearm, they're going to cause me grievous bodily harm. Let it go. We can fight another day. You saw the video that was circulating a while ago about the gentleman in Cape Town that bumped the robber that ran with a gun towards him.
Right.
So what happens is, let's imagine now that robber fired a shot. Robbers point in your general direction when they shoot. And what is visible at that point? Head, neck, shoulder. So if you make a decision to drive or to do anything, at least make your body small. Turn the wheel. Where do I want to go? That side. Turn the wheel, go flat, accelerate, 1,001, 1,002. You make yourself a smaller target. But I always say that item you're trying to protect, is it worth your life? Is it worth your family's life? No, it's not.
Not at all. Richard, I appreciate this conversation, even though I feel like being in this country during this festive season is going to be an extreme sport, just making sure we remember everything. But like you said, this is all to preserve lives and the lives of those around us. So thank you so much, Richard, being so helpful with regards to some of the tips in terms of taking extra caution, because the hijacking stats are up. Indeed, those numbers are showing that the hotspots are quite sporadic in the festive season, not just in Gauteng, KwaZulu-Natal, Cape Town. You've also heard the issue around the US tourist who was shot at when I think he took a wrong turn out in parts of Cape Town, and unfortunately, of course, being injured in the process. So please take precaution during this festive season. Robbers are creative, they do not sleep, as Richard said, and they'll be on high alert.